welcome to today's chapter, Motivation in the Foreign Language Learning. Let's start by thinking, what do you understand by motivation? Are you actually motivated to something? Are your students motivated? Take some time to think about it. What is motivation? According to Spratt, Pulvernes, and Williams, motivation is the thoughts and feelings which make us want and to continue to want to do something and which turn our wishes into actions. Motivation influences why do people decide to do something, how long they keep wanting to do it, how they work to achieve it. Motivation is very important in language learning. It is one of the key factors that helps make language learning successful. So, motivation implies not only the desire to do something, but actually the actions that you take in order to make those dreams come true. Let's review some key concepts of motivation. So, the usefulness to us of knowing the language well. Many people want to learn a language because it can help them achieve practical things such as finding a better job, getting onto a course of study, getting good marks from the teacher, or just booking hotel rooms. So as we can see, motivation is not only for academic purposes, but also for real life tasks. Our interest in the target language culture, actually the culture of the language that we want to learn. For example, if you want to learn English, you might be interested in British culture. If you actually are learning Russian, you might be actually focused on Russian cultures. We might want to get really good at English, for example, so that we can read books by famous English authors or understand the world which produce the great artists and composers. See the pictures below, for example. Feeling good about learning the language. If we are successful at something, that success makes us want to continue doing it and achieve greater things. Managing to communicate in a foreign language can make us want to communicate more and better. Confidence. Feeling that we can do things successfully. Learner autonomy and independence. Feeling responsible for and in control of our learning. And sense of achievement. Being successful at something we have worked at. All of those things are part of feeling good about learning a language. If we think we are good at something, we just want to do it better. Encouragement and support from others. We may live in a country or family or go to school where learning a foreign language is highly valued and much encouraged. This helps us realize the importance of the foreign language and give us emotional support as we learn. People who live in a country where people can't see the point of learning a foreign language might have little motivation to learn foreign language. Wishing to communicate fully with people who matter to you. People may have friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, business partners, etc., who speak another language. They want to develop their relationship with them. This is a strong motivation to learn a language. Our interest in the learning process. Sometimes we want to learn a foreign language simply because we enjoy our language class. We like the teacher, how she or he teaches, the classroom activities, the course book, or maybe the topics in the class. All these are factors related to learning itself, which come from the classroom. So let's think about this a little bit. Are your students motivated to learn? Are you as teacher a good motivator? Let's see. Motivation versus demotivation. We can see that there are different kinds of motivation. Some come inside the learner and some come from the learner's environment. Learners may differ in their motivations. Some may have strong motivation of one kind, but a little of another. Other learners' motivation may be a mixture of kinds. There are also learners, of course, who are motivated, who have no motivation or are demotivated. For example, they have lost their motivation, and motivation can change too. A learner may, for example, be quite uninterested in learning a particular language. Then they meet a teacher who helps them love learning in the language. So motivation can change with age too, with some factors becoming more or less important as the learner gets older. So let's review those types of previously mentioned types of motivation. The first and most recognized one are Gardner's motivation. Gardner is a researcher in the field of second language acquisition who is very well known for his theories of multiple intelligences, but he also talks about motivation. So he has two different types of motivation: integrative motivation and instrumental motivation. Integrative motivation has to deal with the wish or the desire of using the language you learn to integrate in a new community of speakers. For example, you want to learn English because you want to migrate to the United States or to England or to Australia in order to be part of that community. Therefore, your English is your tool to survive in that environment. And then we have instrumental orientation. Instrumental orientation has to do with the use of a language as an instrument for better things like a better life quality in your country, to get a better job in your country. So the difference is that in the instrumental motivation, you don't really have the need to be a part of a new community. You just want to use the language to have a better kind of life. Other important authors are Deci and Ryan. They say that motivation can be divided into two types: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is doing things for pleasure. That means you don't expect nothing in reward. You actually do it because of the sake of learning. For example, you learn English because you like it, because you like how it sounds, because you like cultures, and because you want to learn as many things as you can. But you don't really expect to be recognized or to have a good grade. You just do it because you like it. While extrinsic motivation is doing things for external rewards such as money, grade, or public recognition. For example, you don't really like English, but you need to keep your average up. So you study a lot so you don't have a bad grade, but you don't really care about English. You care about the grade. Let's put this example in the real life. For example, you have a job, right? So your intrinsic motivation in the job is that you do it because it fills your soul, because it makes you feel happy, because you really like your job. So concluding these actions, intrinsic makes a pure and genuine desire within yourself, while extrinsic means that you expect something in exchange. Motivation, according to Dornye, has three important stages: pre-actional, actional, and post-actional. Pre-actional stage is before you are doing the task. That means the motivation that you have before you start learning something. So this pre-actional stage happens when you are interested before you do the step of learning. Right after that comes the actional stage, when you are actually doing the learning process, when you are already taking the class, when you realize that you like the teacher, that you like the methodology, that you like the structures, and you can self-regulate yourself in class. And then we have the post-actional stage. That means when you have already gone through the process of learning, but you're still motivated because you have future plans, because you are more self-confident now, because you appreciate the feedback, the praise, the grades, and you have all to actually pursue your goals with your language. So, why is motivation even important in life? For one very important reason: we are human beings, and we as humans need competence. We like to be determined to achieve something. We'd actually like to feel autonomous and be able to do or achieve things on our own. And finally, because we need to relate to something. We need to know that we do something important for us or for others. So that is why motivation is very necessary. Okay, let's move on to Dornay and Sizer research. Those two guys are very well known researchers in the field of learning languages. They came with this chart after years of investigation about how to motivate students. So they propose 10 important aspects that they need to take into account when teaching an English class. The first one is the teacher, second one, classroom atmosphere, the tasks, rapport, self-confidence, interest, the autonomy, personal relevance, and culture. So I invite you to take a look at this chart, to look at the aspects, and to look at those 25 strategies that they propose in order that your English classes be better. So let's move to a little exercise. In this exercise, I'm giving you a series of activities that are doing in real life classes. And then you're going to have some blank spaces. What you have to do is read the activities and go back to the chart and match the activities with the corresponding aspects. For example, I'm going to help you with the first one. Reading with the class story about social networking sites because you know many of them love using these sites. What would the answer be? Well, interest and self-confidence because they relate to what students need. So please take your time to do the following activities. Let's carry out a reflection. Take a time to think about these teachers' comments and tell me if you agree with them or not. 1. I have such big classes that it's impossible for me to try to motivate each learners. Agree, disagree, why? I always put my learners' work up on the wall even if their English isn't very accurate. Yes, no, what do you do? Number 3. You can give goals to 7-year-olds, but not to 17-year-olds. Really? Why or why not? You tell me. Now let's practice your motivational teaching skills. Are you ready for a little bit of a challenge? So, this activity is taken from TKT Real Exam. So, what you have to do is read the statement and select the answer that does not match with the statement. Number 1. Promote learners' autonomy. A. Give learners advice on how to use study resources. B. Go over the answers with the whole class. C. Give learners a set of goals to choose from. In this case, the answer would be B. If you give the answers directly to the students, they are not putting into practice their sense of autonomy. So take your time to do the others and to analyze why that is the correct answer. And finally, here you are some useful resources that would make your teaching practice much better. Here you are a series of websites that are useful for English teachers. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but even in the paid ones you can have very good deals and some free activities. Every age is included here, from little kids to big adults. So I hope you enjoy them and I hope you have learned a lot about motivation. Bye!